Some of what he and his running mate are saying, well, it's just plain weird.
These guys are just weird. That's who they are.
As weird and creepy as J.D. Vance.
Super weird idea from J.D. Vance.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's quite weird. They're just plain weird.
Just plain weird.
Just plain weird.
That stuff is weird. They come across weird, and then they start being weird. Yeah, they're weird.
Being a really weird.
He's such a weirdo.
Donald Trump and his weirdo running mate, they're weird. Deeply and profoundly weird.
They are weird.
These Republicans just being weird, it's just weird. It's really weird.
Republican weirdness goes even deeper.
He said a lot of things that are weird, a weird style that he brings, weird policies. Let's start with the weird thing, because it is a thing.
Just plain weird.
What was weird was talking about Diet Mountain Dew. Who drinks Diet Mountain Dew?
You ever seen the guy laugh? That seems very weird to me that an adult can go through 6.5 years of being in the public eye. If he has laughed, it's at someone, not with someone. That is weird behavior.
Weird and cultish.
These are weird people on the other side.
He kind of doubled down on his weird ideas.
I think weird is probably generous.
Simply weird. These guys are just plain weird.
Vance as weird?
You know, as the campaign said, weird.
It really is just plain weird.
J.D. Vance, plain weird.
I mean, I don't know how else you could read it.
Weird. It is kind of weird.
We're not afraid of weird people.
The other side, they're just weird. Why are you being so weird?
Vance has done something more extreme, more weird.
No matter what kind of weird stuff they keep saying.
Trump and Vance are just weird, in addition to being dangerous to democracy.
That's the weird part that's the most engaging.
Whom he addressed as my beautiful Christians, which was super weird.
Weird tech bro, J.D. Vance.
He's a weird guy.
J.D. Vance, uneasy and sort of weird.
Frankly, for lack of a better word, that he's weird.
Sarcastic remarks that aren't even funny, and he kind of shows that he can't really deliver a one-liner.
So, Sam, weird is the word here in terms of initial impression.
Boogada, 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 boogada.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more f***ed up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hunt.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me Show. That is Still Point, STIILPOINT. And we are talking about those guys are just weird. As a proud Republican, it seems that I am being labeled as weird by those on the other side of the political aisle. I guess it's better than xenophobe, homophobe, Nazi, racist, sexist, deplorable, domestic terrorist, cult member, white male guy, cisgender, whatever. Democrats love to throw those words around, suggesting that our beliefs and values are somehow out of step with the mainstream, and they may be right. But if being weird means standing up for traditional values, individual freedom, and government that respects its citizens, then I'll wear that label with pride. However, if we are being weird, then it's only fair to call out the Democrats for their truly sick behavior and things they've done throughout history and continue to do today. Let's start with some of the things that are egregious examples of the Democratic policies and actions that have scarred our nation. The Ku Klux Klan, for one. A group synonymous with hatred and terror was birthed out of the Democratic Party. The KKK's reign of terror and the enforcement of Jim Crow laws were not just weird, they were abhorrent. These laws institutionalized racism, disenfranchised African Americans, and cemented segregation. The Democrats didn't stop there. They also pushed the idea of manifest destiny, which justified the displacement and murder and suffering of countless Native Americans, murder coming before suffering, because they always like to go ahead and murder them, then go ahead and make them suffer as well. Democrats truly sick. I guess I should have written that as suffering and then murder. But nonetheless, the Japanese internment camps during World War II were another dark chapter where American citizens were imprisoned based solely on their ethnicity, a policy implemented by a Democratic president. The Tuskegee experiments, where African American men were left untreated for syphilis just to study the progression of the disease, were an unforgivable betrayal of medical ethics and human rights. It's sickening to think that a government could treat its citizens as mere lab rats, but that's exactly what happened under Democratic leadership, a foreshadowing of what was to come in 2020. Then there's the Great Society, programs championed by President Lyndon Baines Johnson, which were ostensibly designed to eliminate poverty and racial justice. But let's not forget Johnson's own words. I'll have those N-words voting Democratic for the next 200 years. The so-called Great Society effectively trapped generations of Black Americans in a cycle of dependency on government assistance, rather than empowering them to achieve true independence and prosperity. The Democrats' history of opposing civil rights is well documented as well, with the 13 Southern Democratic states standing firmly against the civil rights movement, a fact that's conveniently glossed over in today's political discourse. By the way, all Republican states went ahead and voted for civil rights. Let's talk about abortion and eugenics. The early 20th century progressive movement, which heavily influenced Democratic policy, was rife with support for eugenics. Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, was a well-known advocate of the practice. Today, abortion is celebrated by the Democratic Party with pink hats and people celebrating how many they've gotten, like a punch card at McDonald's. Despite its devastating impact on communities, particularly among African Americans, they still celebrate. The gruesome reality is that more Black babies are aborted than born in some areas, and yet this is championed as a right to life. See, folks, because when you have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and you go ahead and you slap that under the 14th Amendment and say it's a constitutional provision, it's kind of antithetical to what the Founding Fathers believed, is that everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's not a right. I can't keep doing it. I mean, it's not this hard. The Democratic Party has also shown a lack of consistency and honesty on LGBTQ issues. They denied the movement for years until Joe Biden accidentally outed the administration's possible intent to support gay marriage. It was a forced hand rather than a genuine shift in values, showing that Democrats will only take a stand when it's politically expedient to do so. The COVID-19 pandemic revealed even more about the Democrats' willingness to control and manipulate. They pushed multiple vaccines and mask mandates, even when evidence suggested that these measures were not as effective as advertised. It was a cold, not the plague, but they acted as if the world was ending, imposing draconian measures that did more harm than good. Their obsession with taking down former President Trump is another example of their sickness. They've tried everything from jailing, bankrupting, lying, perpetuating witch hunts, and even celebrating the attempted assassination of a sitting president. The sheer hatred and vitriol directed at Trump and his supporters is unparalleled in modern political history. And now, after spending years propping up Joe Biden as the great white hope, the Democrats are ready to discard him like yesterday's news or him falling off a bicycle. They hailed him as a savior, but now they've shifted their focus to Kamala Harris, someone they previously criticized and despised, calling her the great black hope now. The irony is not lost on anyone who knows that Harris isn't even black by heritage. It's a cynical, desperate attempt to pander to identity politics rather than focusing on real policy solution. Hence her moniker, the brat. It's just so contrived. Yes, Republicans might be seen as weird to those who project gentrification for the modern-day slave plantations that have become even more vile than the Native American death camps. Yes, we may believe in lower taxes for all while you gut our national defense to throw a few pennies at the NEA. Yes, we may believe in saving the lives of the innocent by upholding constitutional precedent. And yes, we just may be weird, guilty as charged. However, I think it's high time for the leftists to understand that they can gaslight and espouse all of these random projections. Every month, they change it up at us, but they will always be just plain sick in the fucking head. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. If you liked what you heard, please do me a favor. Come back tonight at 7 o'clock. We will be live with myself and Olivia, and we would love to see you Eastern Standard Time. And if you could stop by thedumshow.com, we would also appreciate that. Pick up a hat, a shirt, or something nice for yourself and the missus. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and take care of each other. See you at 7 tonight.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.